It's Friday. It's Friday. Yeah. We about not to be here tomorrow. Divine blessings. I know that was bad English. We about not to. So. Oh. Yeah, I'm in my pens. I was about to like, where is my pen? 22, 23, 24. All right, y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Y'all, it is Friday, July the 23rd, 2021, day 214 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, another 3-year consecutive day count, day 883. And that's without the Sabbath days or the feast day Sabbath days added into the count. Why? Because we rest on those days, because Yahuwah commanded us to rest, so we rest. We be obedient, we just rest. We sleep in, stay in the bed, right? Look, Dana, a whole discussion, right? You can go back and watch it. But today, y'all, we're reading Jeremiah 22, 23, and 24. And then we'll pick up where we left off at yesterday in Fossilized Customs on page 256. All right, y'all. All right. Uh-oh. Auntie! Belinda Brown, shalom. Okay, y'all. I knocked my water on the floor and everything. I know y'all heard it when I knocked my screen back. Okay, let's go ahead and do the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu. All right, y'all. Remember, the Shema is found in Deuteronomy chapter 6, starting at verse 3. Remember, go back and read the full chapter. For the full, well, it's kept in context, but read it for everything else, because there's a whole lot of other things that Yahuwah says would happen and you will be blessed with, but we just kind of pulled the gist of it out. We pulled the gist of everything out that you're supposed to do, and also what will happen if you keep to everything. Peace and blessings, Tiffany. All right, here. Therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah, the Elohim of our fathers, has promised us, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel. Can I get y'all attention? Everybody, please listen. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one. And you shall love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah, our mighty one, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuwah, our mighty one, as he has commanded us. And remember, when it says, thou shalt bind them for a sign upon your hand, remember, the hand represents action. As frontlets between your eyes, it's here. That's the thinking, the mental state, what you think about. He's telling us what to think about, because what you think about, you begin to act out, right? Sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. If you keep them here, you will keep them here in your daily action, and not just you controlling yourself by the ways of righteousness, the instructions of Yah. We're to teach our children, all those that come into our household, up under our canopy of love, right? All right. That's all it's saying. He's saying, if you keep my commands, I'll keep you. Matter of fact, if you keep them, they'll keep you. The commands will keep you, right? It's like this, it's this automatic thing that's just Yahuwah has set in place, right? It's automatic. When you keep his commands, the unseen forces can identify who belongs to Yah and who doesn't, right? Or I'm sorry, well, yeah, who keeps his commands and who doesn't, right? The consequences of our life will show everybody in the world if we're doing something right or if we're doing something wrong. Everything can be proven. You can look at, people may be saying something, but you can look at the proof of their life and see what's really happening. Not that people don't have hiccups, because they do, but I'm talking about the overall theme of their life. If the overall theme of their life doesn't line up with what they're saying, then something is wrong, right? Something is wrong. So that's all I be saying. Just look. Sometimes we may not be able to immediately tell if someone is truly walking in the instructions for life or the ways of righteousness, right? But give it a little bit of time, right? If you watch somebody, I say consistently, something I learned consistently for a year, because it's hard to fake something going past a year, right? It's really hard to fake something going past a year. Your true colors will really come out. They really will. Not saying, like I said, you don't have struggles at first. You just kind of get to going. But the more you keep going, just like working out, the more you work out, the easier it becomes, and it doesn't become so tiring. Consistency is the key. And as long as you can remember that and you keep going, you mess up. Oh my gosh, okay, don't beat yourself up about it. All right, you messed up. Okay, what did you learn from this mess up? Right? What did you learn? Okay, we know not to do that again, or we know not to go that way again. Let's try this way. We'll keep on moving, right? You're going to get it eventually. You're going to get it eventually. And that's with everybody. If you don't give up, you stay consistent, have some faith in yourself. Have some faith in Yah that he has faith in you that you're going to get it, right? You watch somebody for a whole year, they can't fake it for a whole year, right? Or you can't fake something for, look, I'm just saying, it's going to slip somewhere, right? So if somebody's doing something consistently for a long amount of time, you can tell that that's probably really their character, or that thing they probably truly have down, right? And something that you do all the time, a lot of time, you, even in like the business realm, if you focus on one thing, if you look at people that hop from say somebody that's starting a business, somebody that's hopping from business to business, they don't give themselves time to get past this learning curve where they're learning everything. Okay, like I said, this work, that doesn't work, or that might have worked for you because your situation is a little bit different, but mine didn't work quite just like that. So I can't follow it exactly the way you did. I got to tweak it just a little bit because my dynamic is a little bit different. I have an extra variable more than what you have, right? So we had to do ours like this. Now it works perfectly like clockwork, right? But people who jump, okay, I'm gonna do this here, I'm gonna try this business, boom, we do that. Probably about 6 months, we won't see no results. Oh my gosh, let me try something else. And you hop to something else. So you got 6 months worth of training in this thing. Now you hop into something else new, right? Do that for 6 months. That ain't working either. It's like you impatient. All right, let me hop over here and do this. You done started 2, now you on your 3rd thing. You haven't given yourself time to develop in that one thing, to whereas now you on your 3rd thing. If somebody who started that first business with you decided not to hop around with you, but they stayed consistent, now they have a year and a half worth of time studying and researching and understanding and operating in this one business, right? And they have passed some sort of learning curve, and they're seeing way more success in that one thing that they stuck to than you are, because you've jumped around, you cut your learning short, right? You weren't there long enough to see the trends and the patterns and the proper shortcuts and the small little windfalls and stuff, right? Because the person who stuck with it, they're now starting to become an expert. Anybody can ask, oh no, I can tell you why that didn't work. This, let me show you what I learned, right? The longer you do something, it's like your success. Once you get past this learning curve, your success rate increases almost overnight. And it would seem to some people that you become a success overnight when not really. You just weren't there at the beginning stages while I was going through the learning curve. I screwed up something awful, right? I just stuck to it. I kept track of my results, what I was doing wrong, and I corrected those things as I went along. So anybody can come ask you about that one particular business, and you will be like the expert in your field, right? And you like a year and a half, 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years in. For other people who've been jumping around, it's like, what? And now they're looking at you like you're this sage guru when it's nothing really. You just actually stuck to something. Your consistency caused you to be successful, right? Let me tell you, consistency will, I would say, talent might outwork you at the talent, somebody with talent might get you right at the beginning, especially if you don't know it. But if somebody got talent, but they're not consistent in what they do, my trend of consistency is going to catch up to you and your talent, and then I'm going to surpass you because my consistency will fill me with talent, right? And I'm going to get to the level of your talent if you're not consistent, and I'm going to completely surpass you, right? Consistency will outwork talent any day, right? Just because you got talent don't mean you should stop bettering yourself and educating yourself. Because let me tell you, them with consistency, I may not know how to do that now, but give me a little bit. I'm working on it. How we do this? Okay, and I'm testing. Okay, how can they do that? Okay. So this combination. Well, I ain't got good genes like that, but is there something else that I can do? I just got to work a little bit harder. I got to work on this, and I have to work on this, strengthen this and this and this, and I can net the same results, maybe even better. So I'm telling y'all, whatever you do it wholeheartedly and be consistency. It's a good thing. Don't do bad things. Don't be consistent in bad things. Find ways to break bad habits. If you're consistent in doing some bad stuff, find a good habit to replace it, right? I'm telling you, it's nothing but good. Nothing but good is going to come from that. Nothing but good comes from consistency if you're doing something good. Now, it's like smoking. If you're consistently smoking or doing crack cocaine, that type of consistency will lead you to the grave. I ain't telling you to do those type of stuff. Come on, y'all. Okay, so let's start with the reading for today. That was my little spiel, or my little whatever you want to call it. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 22. Screen I'm open. Okay. Message for Judah's kings. This is what Yahuwah said to me. Go over and speak directly to the king of Judah. Say to him, listen, this is the message. Listen to this message from Yahuwah, you king of Judah, sitting on David's throne. Let your attendants and your people listen to. This is what Yahuwah says. Be fair-minded and just. Do what is right. Help those who have been robbed. Rescue them from their oppressors. Quit your evil deeds. Do not mistreat foreigners, orphans, and widows. Stop murdering the innocent. If you obey me, there will always be a descendant of David sitting on the throne here in Jerusalem. Clearly, we know that ain't happening, right? Because we all scattered. They did not keep to these things, right? If you obey me, there will always be a descendant of David sitting on the throne here in Jerusalem. The king will ride through the palace gates in chariots and on horses with his parade of attendants and subjects. But if you refuse to pay attention to this warning, I swear by my own name, says Yahuwah, that this place will become a pile of rubble. A message about the palace. Now, this is what Yahuwah says concerning Judah's royal palace. I love you as much as fruitful Gilead and the green forest of Lebanon, but I will turn you into a desert with no one living within your walls. I will call for wreckers who will bring out their tools to dismantle you. They will tear out all your fine cedar beams and throw them on the fire. People from many nations will pass by the ruins of this city and will say to one another, why did Yahuwah destroy such a great city? And their answer will be, because they violated their covenant with Yahuwah, their God. by worshiping other gods. A message about Jehoahaz. Do not weep for the dead king or mourn his loss. Instead, weep for the captive king being led away, for he will never return to see his native land again. For this is what Yahuwah says about Jehoahaz, who succeeded his father, King Josiah, and was taken away as captive. He will never return. He will die in a distant land and will never again see his own country. And we know how wicked King Jehoahaz was. He did not keep the same ways his father did. We know that King Josiah was one of the more righteous kings. Like, he did almost everything perfectly, with the exception of going out to that war where he should not have gone out, right? You be in the wrong place at the wrong time, even though you walking according to Yahuwah's laws and he's blessing you exceedingly, greatly, and abundantly. King Josiah even got a warning, but he did not listen. He didn't listen to the king who Yahuwah had, what's the other king's name? Anyway, the king that was coming up against the other nation, he went out to war with them, right? King Josiah and his men joined with a nation that was about to be destroyed. And so when King Josiah came up to this invading army's king, he said, King Josiah, this fight is not with you. He said, go home, because Yahuwah has called me to fight against them. And if you join him while fighting against me, you may not get to keep your life. And what happened? King Josiah decided to go out anyway, right? He decided to go out anyway. I guess he figured, hey, Yahuwah talks to me too, right? And he ain't told me nothing. But if he probably had a one and just inquired of Yahuwah like they did all the other times, and this time he didn't, he would have kept his life. But he didn't, because a good king was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And his son, Jehoahaz just went all kinds of willy-nilly, right? Led the once righteous nation completely astray, right? Now read again what Yahuwah said about him. Go back up to verse 10. Do not weep for the dead king or mourn his loss. Instead, weep for the captive king being led away, for he will never see his native land again. And this was Jehoahaz he was talking about. But this is what Yahuwah says about Jehoahaz, who succeeded his father, King Josiah, and was taken away as a captive. He will never return. He will die in a distant land and will never see his own country again. A message about Jehoiakim. And Yahuwah says, what sorrow awaits Jehoiakim, who builds his palace with forced labor. He builds injustice into its walls, for he makes his neighbors work for nothing. He does not pay them for their labor. He says, I will build a magnificent palace with huge rooms and many windows. I will panel it throughout with fragrant cedar and paint it a lovely red. But a beautiful cedar palace does not make a great king. Your father Josiah also had plenty to eat and drink, but he was just and right in all his dealings. That is why Yahuwah blessed him. He gave justice and help to the poor and needy, and everything went well for him. Isn't that what it means to know me, says Yahuwah? But you have only eyes for greed and dishonesty. You murder the innocent, you oppress the poor, and reign ruthlessly. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah says about Jehoiakim, son of King Josiah. The people will not mourn for him, crying to one another, alas, my brother, alas, my sister. His subjects will not mourn for him, crying, alas, our master is dead, alas, his splendor is gone. He will be buried like a dead donkey, dragged out of Jerusalem and dumped outside the gates. Weep for your allies in Lebanon. Shout for them in Bashan. Search for them in the regions east of the river. See, they are all destroyed. Not one is left to help you. I warned you when you were prosperous, but you replied, don't bother me. You have been that way since childhood. You simply will not obey me. And now the wind will blow away your allies. All your friends will be taken away as captives. Surely then you will see your wickedness and be ashamed. It may be nice to live in a blue it may be nice to live in a beautiful palace, paneled with wood from the cedars of Lebanon, but soon you will groan with pangs of anguish, anguish like that of a woman in labor. A message for Jehoiachin. We were just talking about Jehoiakim. This is a message for Jehoiachin. As surely as I live, says Yahuwah, I will abandon you, Jehoiachin, son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah. Even if you were a signet ring on my right hand, I will pull you off. Ooh, that might be our title for today. I will hand you over to those who seek to kill you, those who you desperately fear, to King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and the mighty Babylonian army. Even if you were a signet ring on my right hand, I would pull you off. I will hand you over to those who seek to kill you, those you those you so desperately fear, the King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and the mighty Babylonian army. I will expel you and your mother from this land, and you will die in a foreign country, not in your native land. You will never again return to the land you yearn for. Why is this man Jehoiachin like a discarded broken jar? Why are he and his children to be exiled to a foreign land? O earth, 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 listen to this message from Yahuwah. This is what Yahuwah says. Let the records show that this man Jehoiachin was childless. He is a failure, for none of his children will succeed him on the throne of David to rule over Judah. Sheesh. Jeremiah chapter 23. The righteous descendant. What sorrow awaits the leaders of my people, the shepherds of my sheep, for they have destroyed and scattered the very ones they were expected to care for, says Yahuwah. And we still kind of see that going on, right? You got shepherds plundering a flock every which way. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah, the God of Israel, says to those shepherds. Instead of caring for my flock and leading them to safety, you have deserted them and driven them to destruction. Now I will pour out judgment on you for all the evil you have done to them. But I will gather together the remnant of my flock from the countries where I have driven them. I will bring them back to their own sheepfold, and they will be fruitful and increase in number. Then I will appoint responsible shepherds who will care for them, and they will never again be afraid. Not a single one will be lost or missing. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. The time is coming, says Yahuwah, when I will raise up a righteous descendant from King David's line. He will be a king who rules with wisdom. He will do what is just and right throughout the land, and this will be his name. Yahuwah is our righteousness. In that day, Judah will be saved, and Israel will live in safety. In that day, says Yahuwah, when people are taking an oath, they will no longer say, as surely as Yahuwah lives, who rescued the people of Israel from the land of Egypt. Instead, they will say, as surely as Yahuwah lives, who brought the people of Israel back to their own land from the land of the north and from all the countries to which he exiled them. Then they will live in their own land. Judgment on false prophets. My heart is broken because of the false prophets, and my bones tremble. I stagger like a drunkard, like someone overcome by wine, because of the holy words Yahuwah has spoken against them. The land is full of adultery, and it lies under a curse. The land itself is in mourning. Its wilderness pastures are dried up, for they all do evil and abuse what power they have. Even the priests and prophets are ungodly, wicked men. I have seen their despicable acts right here in my own temple, says Yahuwah. Therefore, the paths they take will become slippery. They will be chased through the dark, and there they will fall. for I will bring disaster upon them at that time fixed for their punishment. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. I saw that the prophets of Samaria were terribly evil, for they prophesied in the name of Baal and led my people of Israel into sin. But now I see that the prophets of Jerusalem are even worse. They commit adultery and love dishonesty. They encourage those who are doing evil so that no one turns from their sins. These prophets are as wicked as the people of Sodom and Gomorrah once were. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, says concerning the prophets. I will feed them and give them bitterness, and I will give them poison to drink. For it is because of Jerusalem's prophets that wickedness has filled this land. This is what Yahuwah, the Lord of heaven's army, says to his people. Do not listen to these prophets when they prophesy to you, filling you with futile hopes. They are making up everything they say. They do not speak for me. They keep saying to those who despise my word, don't worry. Yahuwah says you will have peace. And to those who stubbornly follow their own desires, they say, no harm will come your way. Have any of these prophets been in my presence to hear what I am really saying? Has even one of them cared enough to listen? Look, Yahuwah's anger bursts out like a storm, a whirlwind that swirls down on the heads of the wicked. The anger of Yahuwah will not diminish until it has finished all he has planned. In the days to come, you will understand all this very clearly. I have not sent these prophets, yet they run around claiming to speak for me. I have given them no message, yet they go on prophesying. We can clearly recognize those prophets that Yahuwah is describing here. And it's easy to spot them on TV and off TV, right? Because they always prophesying something other than what the prophets of Yahuwah prophesy. Remember, when the prophets come, they only have one thing that they say ever, right? They may say it in their own personality, and they may say it in different languages and in different words. But here is the prophet's only message. Stop your sinning, or you're going to get your tail towed off. I'm going to remind you what Yahuwah has said to you. And because you decided not to listen to him directly, he sent somebody whom you can actually see to stand in front of your face to tell you to stop your foolishness, right? This is your last chance. Stop it, or right ahead. You see that? You're headed for that. That's right up your way. Like, you're at the point now where you can see this destruction ahead of you and you're still walking forward. Stop it. Return and get back on the path of righteousness, the path of light, so you don't fall off the cliff. That's the prophet's only message ever. Go back and check it. All the prophets, what are they saying? What are they saying? They all say this. You got somebody with the title prophet, they done probably added that title themselves, and it's probably not spelled like Yahuwah spell it. They spell it Profit. Grease my hand and I give you a prophecy. Might as well go ahead and go in a different direction of what this person is standing in, right? Because these are the prophets that Yahuwah are talking about, right? I have not sent these prophets, yet they run around claiming to speak for me. I have given them no message, yet they go on prophesying. If they had stood before me and listened to me, they would have spoken my words, and they would have turned my people from their evil ways and deeds. Yet these prophets out here prophesying lies, prophesying things about, not that they can't talk about world disasters, because they do. They tell you about world disasters, but in telling you about these world disasters, they'll tell you that you will not, like when Yahuwah tells them about these disasters, and not necessarily world disasters, but disasters that are coming for his people because you're on the wrong path. Like what's going to happen in the world is going to happen in the world. Let them do what they do in the other nations. But as for you, this is what you should be doing. And if you're doing what I say do, what's going on out there makes no never mind to you. Like we ain't even worried about it because we know we walk in the paths of righteousness. So whatever's coming, even if we never listen to the news, we are confident that Yahuwah will alert us of what we need to do. Like if we need to get out of Dodge, Yahuwah will alert us. Even if he sends somebody to our door, even if he need to send an angel to the door, we got to get you out of here, sis. He about to burn this place to the ground. I am that confident that if a bomb was coming for this place, either first Yahuwah would alert us before time, and we get out of here before the bomb hit. If there was no stopping this bomb, we can't even find 10 righteous people in this place. So you come on, let's go. Right? But if it hit, I am certain that it will blow up everything around my house and leave my house in perfect order. Right? At least that's my prayer. I live my life as clean and as transparent as I possibly can. If I make a mistake, I quickly correct it once I realize it. So that's what I believe. That's what I'm hoping, right? Because technically, we know, if a bomb is coming, it's not just going to get everything and leave my house from being touched, right? So I would hope to still hear from y'all and to hear him ahead of time. Like, go on here to flee Babylon. Go on, get up out of here now because they're coming, right? When you see this, go ahead, get up out of here and you won't be caught up in it, right? Flee Babylon so you do not partake in her destruction, right? So he always warns his people ahead of time. That's the prophet's message. They're not prophesying to you about anything else but to stop your foolishness and return back to Yah. That is their only message, right? And he allows the prophets to use their own personality, who they are, their sense of humor, or their sense of seriousness set in their face like a flint, because however they are, it's going to be needful for where Yahuwah placed them in the world amongst his people, right? That's what those people where you're placed, that's what they need. That's how they need to hear the message from you, right? Those who would listen to you, they need to hear it in your personality and how you move and walk, right? That's why Yahuwah sets certain ones with the same message, but different personalities conveying the same message, right? It's just like hearing somebody explain something to you. You can hear 3 different people give you the same message, but explain it to you in different ways from their personality. And it's not till you get into this one like, oh, that's what they were saying. Oh, I couldn't understand all that technical stuff. But once somebody speaks it in the way, in the story form that you understand, that you're familiar with, you can go back and look at the other 2 you couldn't quite understand, and it'll click like, oh, that's what you were saying. Oh, man, see, I didn't go to medical school. I don't know those terms. I don't know what you're talking about. But I know exactly what you're talking about now. They just broke it down for me. This is the way it is, right? I have not sent these prophets, yet they run around claiming to speak for me. I have given them no message, yet they go on prophesying. If they had stood before me and listened to me, they would have spoken my words, and they would have turned my people from their evil ways and deeds. Am I a God who is only close at hand, says Yahuwah? No, I am far away at the same time. Can anyone hide from me in a secret place? Am I not everywhere in all the heavens and the earth, says Yahuwah? I have heard these prophets say, listen to the dream I had from Yahuwah last night. And then they proceed to tell lies in my name. How long will this go on? If they are prophets of deceit, inventing everything they say. By telling these false dreams, they are trying to get my people to forget me, just as their ancestors did by worshiping the idols of Baal. Let these false prophets tell their dreams, but let my true messengers proclaim faithfully my every word. There is a difference between straw and grain. Does not my word burn like a fire, says Yahuwah? Is it not like a mighty hammer that smashes a rock into pieces? Therefore, says Yahuwah, I am against these prophets who steal messages from each other and claim that they are from me. I am against these smooth-tongued prophets who say this prophecy is from the Lord. I am against these false prophets. Their imaginary dreams are flagrant lies that lead my people into sin. I did not send them or appoint them, and they have no message at all for my people. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. I can get into a lot of examples about this. Whew, buddy. I'm going to keep reading. False prophecies and false prophets. Suppose one of the people or one of the prophets or priests asks you, what prophecy has Yahuwah burdened you with now? You must reply, you are the burden. Yahuwah says he will abandon you now while you're trying to be smart. What burden do what? You are the burden. Remember when King Ahaz, when he finally found Elijah, Elijah made himself known to him. He said, oh, what do you want now, you troubler of Israel? He said, I don't trouble Israel. You are troubling Israel, O king, with your sins, leading the entire nation astray, right? If any prophet, priest, or anyone else says, I have a prophecy from the Lord, I will punish that person along with his entire family. You should keep asking each other, what is Yahuwah's answer? Or what is Yahuwah saying? But stop using this phrase, prophecy from the Lord. For people are using it to give authority to their own ideas, turning upside down the words of our God, the living God, the Lord of heaven's armies. Ain't they still doing that foolishness today? Yes, they are. Scaring people out there with, oh, the Lord said that. Oh, no, the Lord said that. That's who they listening to, the Lord. They ain't listening to y'all. This is what you should say to the prophets. What is the Lord's answer? Or what is the Lord saying? But suppose they respond. All right. Hold on. This is what you should say to the prophets. What is Yahuwah's answer? Or what is Yahuwah saying? But suppose they respond. This is a prophecy from Yahuwah. Then you should say, this is what Yahuwah says. Because you have used this phrase, prophecy from Yahuwah or prophecy from the Lord, even though I warned you not to use it, I will forget you completely, right? So y'all using that even just by ignorance, you better stop it. Just stop, right? Just stop it. Stop using that phrase. Because here's what I know, and here's what I understand, and here's what can be tested and proven, right? Those whom, and I've watched this in a few different circles, like real time, not just like on YouTube or TV or something like that, actually, and looking at different churches that I've been through at different times. You can tell people, now there are some people who are really talented and will use their talent inside of the church. And you would think if you can't decipher between like Yahuwah say straw and grain, he said there's a difference between straw and grain, right? If you can't tell that, you can kind of be fooled by somebody who's really talented versus somebody who's really anointed by Yah, and I don't even like to use that term anointed because it's just overly used and used in the wrong way. But somebody who a true prophet is somebody who has truly sent. There is a real difference, because people who Yahuwah really sends, and not saying that they all do this, but the majority that I've seen, like if Yahuwah has sent them, they just gonna give it to you. They're just gonna tell you what it is. There's just this certain authority that follows them. Like it's like, who, if you acting foolish, you gonna sit down and you ain't gonna say nothing back. It's almost like when the kids is acting a fool and they see dad walk in the house, everybody like, oh, hello, father. How was your day? Like y'all just went turn up the house, right? It's like they immediately recognize that authority. And dad don't need to walk in the house. Look, I'm daddy, right? He just walk in the house and his presence is immediately known. It's like, oh shoot, who's that? Wait, what? Hold on, let me sit down. Hold on. Shh. What do you say? Huh? Girl, we in trouble, right? That authority, those whom you who are really who he really sins, it's if anybody got any kind of what I want to say, if they talk to Yah at all, or even if they playing around like that can be felt, and they don't have to be like, this is a word from the Lord. They don't need to add that phrase to kind of pump up what they about to say. They just gonna say it, even if they never put Yahuwah's name on it. It's like they have the authority. They carry the keys to the house. Every time I walk in my house, I don't need to make known that, hey, this is mama. I'm walking in the house. I have authority to walk in this house. No, I got the key and I'm going to come and go as I please. I have authority to be here. Right. And there's nothing. It's like one of those type of things. Like when you have the authority, you don't need to make known. Everybody, oh, and people say, oh, shoot, he got a key. Meaning the owner of this place has authorized. Okay, what you say now? What the owner say? Okay, like you be like, really, the owner said what to you now? Like you can see that everywhere. But those who are not quite sure and just conjuring up things or creating their own prophecies, they like to flaunt their titles in front of their name. I am prophet so and so, and I am prophetess. I can't keep my mouth shut. They do that, right? And when you see people like that, you don't just go ahead and pass by. If I was in my car, I'd roll over you. No, that's wrong. But you get what I'm saying. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? So you can tell the difference between straw and grain. You really can, because there is a real authority that follows those type of people who Yahuwah has truly authorized. And they don't need to go around telling you all the time that they're authorized to do this. That authority just follows. It's there. Even if you don't recognize it at first, if somebody needs to tell you, because maybe you just completely oblivious to any type of authority, right? Those who are smart would kind of scan the room and see what's going on. People sitting down. Ooh, I'm sitting down too. Okay, something going on here. I don't quite understand yet. Oh, who is that? Oh, that's who y'all. Oh, they're in charge. Oh, okay. What we supposed to be doing? I missed it. Can I see your notes? What? It's like that type of thing. So people who just big mouths and always I'm this, just go on, scroll past them, or keep on walking. Just roll your eyes while you're going to, and make it known. I'm rolling my eyes at you as I'm chucking deuces walking by. Y'all might not want to do that, but I'm just saying, I could probably do that to get away with that. But I won't do that to people for real. But I may go ahead and get out of here. I may say that under my breath, but I won't disrupt the place. I really won't. I'm just silly sometimes. Okay, let me get back to this, y'all. I'm just read it again. This is what you should say to the prophets. What is Yahuwah's answer, or what is Yahuwah saying? But suppose they respond, this is a prophecy from Yahuwah. Then you should say, this is what Yahuwah says. Because you have used this phrase, prophecy from Yahuwah, even though I warned you not to use it, I will forget you completely. I will expel you from my presence along with this city that I gave you and your ancestors, and I will make you an object of ridicule, and your name will be infamous throughout the ages. And we know that is not why we want our names to be remembered, right? Not for foolishness, especially not foolishness against y'all. Because like my mama said, all it takes is one good public flogging. Y'all see what happened to Keisha last week? We ain't doing that. Keisha was a fool. Last chapter for the day. Jeremiah chapter 24. Good figs and bad figs. After King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon exiled Jehoiachin, son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Yahuwah gave... I'm sorry, y'all. My phone was ringing and it messed my place up. Hold on. Okay. After King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon exiled Jehoiachin, son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, to Babylon along with the officials of Judah and all the craftsmen and artisans, Yahuwah gave me this vision. I saw 2 baskets of figs placed in front of Yahuwah's temple in Jerusalem. One basket was filled with fresh, ripe figs, while the other was filled with bad figs that were too rotten to eat. Then Yahuwah said to me, "What do you see, Jeremiah?" I replied, "Figs, some very good and some very bad, too rotten to eat." Then Yahuwah gave me this message. This is what Yahuwah, the God of Israel, says. The good figs represents the exiles I sent from Judah to the land of the Babylonians. I will watch over and care for them, and I will bring them back here again. So it's kind of like us, right? Although we're still scattered in the land of our captivity, he watches over us, right? He didn't just completely give us up to the nations, right? But those of us here who realize, oh, shoot, this is why we're here, and we do the best we can to live according to the laws as if we were actually living back at home in our own land that Yahuwah gave us, right? So it's kind of like we need to prove ourselves, right? You need to act. Show me how you gonna act if I let you back in the house. Don't do what's right there. I'm watching over you. I ain't gonna, and we can see some of us still getting our tails toe off left and right. Massa is still killing a lot of us, right? But those that's keeping to Yahuwah's law, statutes, and commands, sometimes we have near misses, like, whoo. But them near misses should let us know, okay, I done something I don't supposed to be doing. Okay, Father, forgive me. Okay, help me get this right, right? And it's those of us who just got our hands to the plow. We just, all right, we do this, clean up our own household. This is what we need to be doing. We following y'all. Okay, we don't have that just right yet, but we working on, okay, how do we get this right? What do Yahuwah say about it? Father, help us, please. It's those he's watching over, right? And he considers those good things. We may not be perfect. We're working out our own soul salvation every single day, right? We're being consistent. We're trying to be consistent. Like, we're just keeping at it until we get it, right? Then Yahuwah gave me this message. This is what Yahuwah, the God of Israel, says. The good figs represents the exiles I sent to Judah, to the land of the Babylonians. I will watch over and care for them, and I will bring them back here again. I will build them up and not tear them down. I will plant them and not uproot them. I will give them hearts that recognize me as Yahuwah. They will be my people, and I will be their God, for they will return to me wholeheartedly. But the bad figs, Yahuwah said, represent King Zedekiah of Judah, his officials, and all the people left in Jerusalem and those who live in Egypt. I will treat them like bad figs, too rotten to eat. I will make them an object of horror and a symbol of evil to every nation on the earth. They will be disgraced and mocked, taunted and cursed wherever I scatter them. And I will send war, famine, and disease until they have vanished from the land of Israel, which I gave to them and their ancestors. All right, y'all. That is our reading for today. That was Jeremiah 22, 23, and 24. Okay. So let's hop on over here to, I still be wanting to say Legends of the Jews. We was reading it so long, I literally have to pause every day when I say that and make myself not say Legends of the Jews. I still do. Okay. So we're at the next section on page 256, where it's, remember we was going back and forth with the conversation between Luke and the congregational leader that didn't quite agree with some of his, what he pointed out in the book, right? Okay, so we're at the next section. It's talking about the difference between Nazarene and Nazarite, right? And some people think they're related. But let's read it. Nazarene and Nazarite. Are these words related? Natsar and Nazir, a crash study. The word Natsar, Natsar. There is usually some initial confusion with the words Natsar and Nazir. The original Hebrew for Nazarene is based on the root Natsar and means to watch. This is because the area around the burg Nazareth was named for it, hence the word Gennesaret, Vale of Natsar. That's what Gennesaret means, the Vale of Natsar, referring to the whole district. Nazareth, as it is sometimes transliterated, was a community with a view. It was built on a hilltop. Nazareth's root word Natsar points to the fact that the town was situated on high ground and provided a panoramic view of the surroundings. It was an absolutely lovely place to grow up. The brow of the hill, which Yahusha's townfolk tried to throw him over, gave the name to the town itself. Nazareth or Natsar, the root, hence means watch tower. The Nazarenes are by extension watchmen, but this also fulfills the prophecy of Isaiah, hold on. Yeah, Isaiah 11:1 and Zechariah 6:12. In these places, hold on, is that Yesha? Sometimes it throw me off because I forget he using the Hebrew words instead of just saying Isaiah or Jeremiah. I think Isaiah is Yasha. This might be Jeremiah. And I ain't got my in here. So this is, I know Yash. I think this might be Jeremiah. I'm sorry, y'all. Yesh. It's either Jeremiah. That's horrible. I should know that, but I forget them. I get them mixed up sometimes. Yesha Yahoo and Yasha Yahoo. It's either, I know Yasha definitely is Isaiah, but I'm not sure if this is a typo because I have found a couple typos in here, and I'm not sure if he's actually meaning Isaiah or if he's talking about Jeremiah. I would actually just have to go to it and find out. Let me just go to it and find out. Give me 1 second. I just got to look it up. Hold on. Let me look up Jeremiah. Sorry, y'all. Y'all wait this. Let's see. I'm putting it up. 11. Let's see what this one is first. What did he say? The Watchman. That's talking about the root of Jesse. Mario 11:1. Okay, I don't see how this, either one of them, Isaiah or Jeremiah, fulfills the prophecy. Okay, both of them. Let me look almost at Isaiah. The terms are answered. Oh, okay. The terms of the covenant. Okay. 11. See, both of them talking about the covenant. So I need to pull out to figure that out for real. I just need to pull up my Sefer and look at it. But I'm gonna keep reading. I'll let y'all know. Sefer. Look at Sefer. If y'all care, I do. But I'll put it in since I took a couple minutes to look at it. So y'all might be curious now yourself. So I'll put it in there. Okay. In these places, the change in vowels form the root netser, N-E-T-S-E-R, meaning branch. It's a synonym. Like any word with the two meanings but the same spelling, he shall be called a Nazarene. Okay. He was talking about, I should have just kept reading. He was talking about Isaiah chapter 11. 11:1, because it was talking about the branch, the root of Jesse. So that's exactly what that's Isaiah. He shall be called a Nazarene. Matthew 2:23 refers to the verse above, but it is not a direct quote as we are led to believe. This synonym, word spelled the same, forms a play on words, netzer meaning branch, and natsar meaning to watch. We can be called branches, as in branches of Yahusha's teaching, and watchmen, guardians of the name and word. Remember, Yahusha said, I am the vine, you are the branches. That's found in John chapter 15 and 5. The original followers of Yahusha were known as Nazarene. You will see sect of the Nazarene written in your translations at Acts chapter 24, verse 5. From the same chapter 31, Yirmiyahu. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's what it was. Yirmiyahu is Jeremiah. And he in here, which is crazy. Well, it's not crazy because you use it either way, but before here for Isaiah, he was always saying Yeshayahu. That's why I was like, I'm sorry, not Yesha, but Yasha Yahu. But you can find like I think it's like the scriptures version of the Bible where it restores the names. It uses Yesh and not Yah, right? So that's why I was like, I got confused real quick because I couldn't remember exactly what Jeremiah was. Jeremiah is Yirmiyahu. But Isaiah can be said as Yasha Yahu or Yesha Yahu, right? And they do that same thing with Yeshua. Yeshua and Yahusha is that same yeah and Yah thing that they did. So that's what it confused me real quick and I had to go look. But clearly now I know it's Isaiah. Instead of just saying the Yashayahu, he used the other form, which he never really uses in here. It was Yeshayahu. Okay. Not that y'all really care. But it threw me off for a second. From the same chapter 31 of Jeremiah, where the promised renewed covenant is located, there are the words, there will be a day when watchmen will cry out on the hills of Ephraim, which is Jeremiah 31 and verse 6, referring to one of the 10 lost tribes whom Yahusha was sent to. Among these, some are Nazarene like me, and he is finishing that mission through his Nazarene today. The word watchman is from the same root, Natsar, from which we derive the words Nazareth, Gennesaret, and Nazarene. Technically, we should not use a letter Z in Nazarene because the letter is Sadi or T sound, the TS sound, and it confuses the word with Nazir, which uses a Z or Zayin. Guys, we have to pause right here today. I forgot about an appointment, and the maintenance people are pulling up today. So let me go ahead and end this. I forgot. Y'all, we'll pick this back up tomorrow. We right at the 56-minute mark anyway. 57. All right, y'all. It is Friday. Actually, we won't be here tomorrow because it's the Sabbath. It is Friday, July the 23rd, 2021, day 214 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 883. We read Jeremiah 22, 23, and 24. And Fossilized Customs, we read pages 256 to page 257. So let's go ahead and do the blessing. I'm sorry, y'all. I completely forgot about that. I didn't check my appointments this morning. I forgot I put that in there for today. All right, y'all. So remember, the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. The first 21 verses is the Nazarite vow. Marino will make you take it. Take some time, read over it. It's not a vow you should take hastily. You should really think about it and think about what's required of you, and if you can be consistent enough to keep to it, right? Because there's a blessing in taking that vow. It really, really is. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people, I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here Sunday morning, bright and early, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, on the weekends, if it's not the Sabbath, 7:30. During the week, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, love y'all. Bruce. Bye, y'all. Oh, they coming to the door now.